I grew up in, East Utica as a young kid. Mother was always working, father was always working. 3 brothers that lived with me at the time. We kind of just grew up, and it was kind of not always easy. It was a struggle. At Christmas time, the church did bring us meals to be able to eat, so that way we can celebrate. We did get clothes from different people, so that way we had stuff to wear. I never had the newest clothes for Christmas. I never had the best presents. All my friends were getting all these great things, and I always wanted it, but we just couldn't afford it. And I was tough on my mother for it. I wanted more. I was just that kid that wanted what everybody else had, and she just couldn't do it. And I didn't realize till now that I'm older of why she couldn't do it. It wasn't that she didn't want to, she just couldn't. She had to pay rent, and she had to pay electric and car payments and different things like that, and put food on the table. So, growing up like that, I just try to do as much as I can for the kids now to show them that they're not alone. They're not the only ones that go through that stuff. And you can still make something out of yourself no matter where you come from. I set goals for myself to get where I am today. I focused on it. I wasn't going to let it down. I wasn't going to get defeated. I wasn't going to be beat down, I put my sights in a place, and no matter who I had to leave behind, no matter friends, girlfriends, family, I knew I had a place to go. And sometimes people come in from different paths of your life, and you have to know where to choose and where to go. And I just focused on, this is what I have to do to be successful. And I just kept pushing and pushing and working, and I just never gave up. Well, as a kid, I grew up and I had a speech problem. I still have a speech problem. I stutter. I was in speech class my whole life. I really didn't even learn how to talk till I was like in 3rd or 4th grade. A lot of people don't know that about me. And it was a struggle. People made fun of me. People looked at me differently, and I pushed. I kept working towards it. I didn't like school. School was a struggle for me. I just didn't like homework. I didn't like it. I wanted to get to work. I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew how to do it. I was a star basketball player. I was the star athlete in everything I ever played, but it wasn't enough. Just in school, I struggled with it. I didn't know how to spell. I still don't know how to spell. But now with Google, you don't need to know how to spell. But it's always been a struggle for me, and it just, BOCES really helped me. I'll be honest with you. BOCES was like, it really saved me. Going to BOCES and with some of them teachers over there, and I wound up being the treasurer for VICA, and seeing that structure and that way of life, I knew that the vocational education is kind of the way I wanted to go. More hands-on was good for me. That's what worked. It was culinary. Yeah, which drove me to where I am now, because I fell in love with culinary at such a young age that from there I joined the military, and I joined the military as culinary, food service. I was a food service specialist, and I wound up traveling the world being a cook, basically, cooking in the field, cooking for thousands of people at once. So it taught me how to do catering, and it taught me how to work in a fast-paced environment, how to be clean, how to, everything about that, and it taught me a brotherhood of working together. Teamwork makes the dream work. Without that, you're nobody. I couldn't do anything I do without other people that are in my life helping me get to where I am. Well, I try to do as much as I can. There's a lot of people in the community that needs the support, that needs a team, and I want to start that team. I want to be the person that they know that they can come to when they need something. If it's just, hey, how do I get a haircut? Or where do I go for an interview? Or can you help me? Can you reach out to somebody to get me a home? There's people around here that don't even have a place to live. And I'm trying to set up the connections and the communication with people to get them the help that they need. Well, there's been a lot of them from even before here. You know, people calling me saying, Dan, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have joined the Army. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to get Christmas presents for my family this year. You know, this year for Christmas, we had so many people here. You wouldn't believe the people that haven't celebrated Christmas in 10, 15, 20 years because they had no one to celebrate with. To come in here to feel that joy. And I mean, I went home that night and I had tears flowing through my face. I mean, I got goosebumps right now thinking about it. Just to see that kind of feeling in the way they act and the way they are, you know. Another kid came in from the summer program, you know, he was kind of on the fence, didn't know if he should be a good kid, bad kid, you know, and now he's in here asking me about what do I have to do to get a job? How do I go about an interview? Came in, showed me his new haircut. Well, basically anybody and everybody's welcome to join me in anything I do. We always accept volunteers. We always accept donations. We don't ask for them, you know, because this is something we do. My team here is awesome. Between my wife, my staff, they just jump on board. They go, oh, here goes Dan again with another crazy idea, you know. But when I tell them the stories of the people that do come in, they find it so amazing that they love to be part of it. And they're like, what's next? What's next? What's on the thing? You know, I'd like to get the community more involved, more businesses more involved. You know, maybe form some kind of committee to where we can sit down once a month, once a week, whatever it is, come up with different plans of things we can do, even get some children involved. Children dictate where the parents shop. Kids dictate where the parents eat. You know, if we can get kids in there and see what they want and see what we can do to help them, you know, and they want to participate in communicating to us what they need and what they want to make them better. You know, they just don't know how to do it. You know, so I'm open to anybody joining us, and you know, it kind of started small, and if it ends up huge, then great. If it ends up staying small, then we roll with that and we do the best we can, and it's a good community outreach program.